Welcome back to Vintage and Stuff, everybody. I am Drew Heifetz, your host. Also, the owner of F as in Frank Vintage Clothing. I have 20 plus years in the business. This is the podcast where we interview the brightest, the most interesting, the most knowledgeable minds in the vintage community. Today on the show, we have B4 Vintage. Her name is Brittany, and she is a massive whatnot seller and recently had a show where she grossed $100,000. North of $100,000. Not many people can say that they've done $100,000 in one day, but she has. Took her 15 hours on a Whatnot Live. So that's no small feat. But she's been killing it. She's been killing it on Whatnot, making kind of waves in the t-shirt world. And yeah, we have a great chat. We get into all kinds of interesting topics. We get into this Whatnot Live that she did 100K on topic. We get into the March Madness vintage contests, which is a whole thing in and of itself. Vintage contests where t-shirt dealers will go bat to bat and compete and like do these round robin type tournaments. She won a massive one. We talk about that. She is sober, and we have a whole conversation about being sober, what that means for your life, your business, your brain, because I am also sober. I am 1 year sober. She's currently on almost 7 years. Talk about that. We talk about the t-shirt business. She drops so much knowledge about selling on Whatnot. There's so much tips and tricks in this episode about selling on Whatnot. You really need to listen till the end, because if you're going to sell on Whatnot, this is kind of a crash course in how you're going to be successful. So definitely listen till the end. We get into all kinds of great topics. So sit back, buckle your seatbelt, because here is Brittany B4 Vintage.
Welcome to Vintage and Stuff with Drew Heifetz. Welcome to Vintage and welcome to Vintage and Stuff with Drew Heifetz. Welcome to Vintage and welcome to Vintage and Stuff. Drew Heifetz. Welcome to Vintage and welcome to Vintage and Stuff. Vintage and Stuff. We got vintage clothing by the rack. Yeah, just check out my Insta. How you gon' argue with that? Everything you see, I manifest. I'm an architect. I think I'ma run it back. We got vintage clothing by the rack. Just check out my Insta. How you gon' argue with that? Everything you see, I manifest. I'm an architect. I think I'll have some of that.
Brittany, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Super
This is
excited.
awesome. I'm excited. I tuned into your live randomly because I just was downloading Whatnot again for like the third time, because I downloaded a bunch and never really went on, but I downloaded it because I want to get on, and then I pull up and you're live doing this crazy show. That was my first intro to you.
I love it.
Yeah, and I was like, shit, these guys got tons of heat. It's just like heat after heat after heat. And I'm like kind of shocked. I'm like, wow, where do they get all this stuff? How do they accumulate this much killer product for a live like this? So that was my intro to you. And then after doing a little bit more research, you have 16,000 followers on the Whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It says you've sold over 5,300 items, which I did some rough math, and I'm thinking like you're over $250,000 in sales. Am I in the ballpark?
Sure. I'm trying to think. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, my math could be so off. I was just like throwing numbers
Yes.
around. Okay,
No,
so
for sure.
that's very
No,
impressive.
you're good.
And after talking to like some of your friends, you come highly regarded as just a good person in the vintage community.
Thank you. I try to be. Keep my side of the street clean.
I love that. And yeah, so I got a lot of fun topics today. We want to talk about Whatnot a ton. We want to talk about that live specifically. I want to talk about this phenomena of the vintage madness thing that kind of like got you catapulted into the scene.
Yeah.
Got some, I want to talk about sobriety because I know you're sober. I think that's very
Hmm.
interesting, and I think people want to hear about that. So yeah, lots of fun things to talk about. I'm stoked to jump into it with you.
Me too. Thank you for having me. I'm
All
pumped.
nice. So I want later in the episode, I want to get into the whole breakdown of that live, because you had told me it was 15 hours long. I think that's mayhem. I would have burnt the fuck out after like hour three because
Yeah.
I've been there before. But uh, I just want to know for that live specifically, like, will you tell us the total take on that live, total sales for your 15-hour live?
Total sales was 100, 100, what is it? A little over 100 grand. Yeah.
100 grand.
Hmm.
See, I guess it's worth 15 hours. 15 hours. I mean, there's a lot more that goes into it than 15 hours, to be honest. But
Yeah.
um, god damn, that's impressive.
Yeah. I didn't think it was going to take that long, but I never have done anything like that live. So, I learned a ton of stuff from that live that I think would cut the time next time, but I don't know if there would be a next time. It was
Yeah,
wild.
that's the
Yeah.
chunk. All
Hmm.
right, so later in the episode, I want to really dive into that whole process. I want to talk a lot about Whatnot on this episode, like sort of the whole process of you getting on there, getting followers. I really want to like give the listeners like the play by play on that, because I think there's a lot of value to be had there. Um, but I heard you actually got banned from Whatnot at one point, so I want to hear about this.
I never got banned from Whatnot.
One of your friends who you recommended me talk to said you got banned from Whatnot.
Never got banned.
What
Never
the
got
hell?
banned.
Okay, so that's false information. That never happened. My sources are
Oh,
not coming with the good info for me here. So I wonder what other info I have that's not going to be right.
that is so funny.
Wow.
I've gotten like warnings and stuff like that, but I've never um, I got in trouble after the big show for vaping on the big show. Because had gotten told like a million times not to vape, and I was like, I'm trying to do 100 grand here. I'm gonna vape. Like, if you want to ban me for 30 days, ban me for 30 days. Like, it's just stupid. Trying to work my ass off here. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
So
let me
they,
make
yeah,
you money. Stop
yeah.
giving me shit here.
Yeah, so they, just were like, you don't have Instapay for this amount of time. And I was like, well, that's wonderful because I'm on a break for a month. I'm not going live. So I love
So
Whatnot, but
what other reasons are there that Whatnot would ban somebody? Like, what are the reasons for getting kicked off the app?
um, it's really hard to like get perma banned. Like you have to get in really deep shit because there's a couple of people that I know that got perma banned and it took, I think, a lot. But to get like 7-day ban and 30-day no Instapay, um, I guess lately it doesn't take much. Shipping, I know one of my
Oh, if
really
you're
good
slow,
buddies.
yeah.
Yeah, like if you've had shipping violations, I've had a ton of friends with that. And then one of my good buddies had a guest on his show and who's like one of the best sellers, straight A seller on there. He's never had like any trouble on there. It makes him a lot of money. And he was hosting and he had a buddy on there and somebody came in and said something like really nasty and our friend that he was hosting, kind of snapped on the person and they both got banned for 7 days and then no Instapay for 30 days. And there was just no way around it.
Hmm.
And it
I
was a
guess that's
little
fair.
ridiculous. Yeah, but it's like I don't know, like if you're hosting someone, they want us to host people and then, you know, I don't know,
Yeah,
you can't be,
greedy.
like I can't have control over my buddy that's in freaking New York, you know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah,
could cut
that's
it
true. So
off.
the person who said it should be banned potentially, but not the host. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I see where they're coming from because they can only control the sellers. They can't control the comment section, right? I
right.
also heard like they banned certain like mystery box programs and stuff and all these like
Yeah,
weird like gaming kind of things
yeah,
because that was going off for
yeah.
a while, wasn't it?
I know, it was so much fun. Like mystery boxes were so much fun. That was like one of my biggest shows at one time. I remember me and my husband did like he like super supports me. He's not into vintage, but sometimes he'll help me with the bigger shows like computer wise, doing the store, doing all that. And we would have chasers, like whoever spent the most on a box or whatever gets this tea. Um, kind of followed like what Rally Roots did. And you can't do that. And I did mystery boxes, and I think we made like 15 grand that stream, and that was like we have made it. This is the
Sick.
biggest stream. Yeah, it was huge. It was really, really big, and but it literally took forever. It was at a point where it was like a slow point, so that show was not like a quick, easy show. Like it took me a while. Like I was like, no, I am sitting here. I am selling these boxes. My husband's like, mark them down, mark them down. I'm like, I'm not marking these boxes. Like I did mark them down a little bit, but I was like, no, I'm sitting here. I'm selling my boxes, and we're gonna
Hold
do
your
this.
ground.
Yes,
Hold your ground.
we're gonna do this.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um. So I haven't had a female on the show in a long time, so I'm actually just excited to have a female on the show. Um, I feel like I've reached out to a bunch, and this industry, there's lots of females that sell vintage, but um, the T-shirt thing specifically is like very male dominated. I'm sure you see that.
Right.
Um,
100%. Yeah.
so it's I'm excited to get your take on all these things from your point of view.
Yes.
I want to kick it back to where this started for you. I think you're about 2 years into vintage now, selling vintage. Is that right?
Yes. Selling. Yeah.
So I want to kick it back
Okay.
to the beginning. I want you to tell your whole sort of origin story, how you got in. Your AKA the Harley Queen, which I wore. I wore a Harley for you.
I love it. I love it. Classic Eagle. I love it. Love it. Love it.
Um, so I want to kick it back, but before I kick it back, I have one fun little game we're going to play. Okay.
Okay.
So obviously doing a lot of lives. You stream on IG as well as whatnot. You've done these sort of contest events, which I definitely want to hear. It's funny because I don't even really know about this thing. Like you were explaining it to me before. I don't even. I think I may have heard of this before, but I've never watched one. So I really want to hear all about that. We're going to play a game. You get to see all your items sell in real time, which is auction format most of the time. And you're seeing like this sort of like fluctuations in what things are valued. So you
Right.
get to get a better understanding. Unless you're sitting on eBay like a nerd every night looking at what's selling, it's hard to keep up with the t-shirt market.
Right.
But
100%.
someone who streams a lot gets to see it more than most people. So I'm just going to show you t-shirts that I picked out. I got 10 t-shirts, and I want you to
Okay.
just tell us what you think they would sell for on,
Okay.
say, your live or like a Faded live or whatever, Rally Roots live.
Okay.
There's no right or wrong answer. This is just like what you would say they're going to sell for. And this is not like maybe like the top value. This is like what you think they would go for on a whatnot.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm
Okay,
excited.
First up, we got this Yankees Lightning Bolt tee. I'm pretty sure this is like a Salem.
Oh, that's a nice one. I feel like I haven't even seen that one before. Ooh, nice sports tee.
Okay.
Okay, I would say mm, one 150 to 200 easy.
Okay, cool.
I'm saying on
Okay.
whatnot. I'm saying on
Yeah,
whatnot.
totally. And I don't even know. I literally pulled a bunch of these off people's IGs. I searched a couple on Google. I just was like, I'm just going to get a cross section of tees, and I don't even know what their values are. Okay, so
I
this
love
is
it.
The Bulls, is
Shattered
that the shattered
backboard.
backboard? Yeah.
I would say 125, 150.
Okay. And speaking of the shattered backboards, like, is there any teams that are like the higher price ones versus lower price ones? Or are they all kind of in that
Um,
range?
I feel like just shattered backboards in general are just so hard to get. Like the Bulls is easy to get. The Hornets is a little more easy to get. The Suns I've seen around. Um, but I'm trying to get like the whole shattered backboard collection. I'll tell you about it
Wow.
later. But
Yeah. Okay.
yes,
Cool.
yeah. But I
Okay.
feel like a lot of them are just the harder ones. They're just hard to get. They're hard to get shirts for
Yeah,
sure.
I don't see them. I don't see them very much. And to be honest, if I
No.
have seen a lot of them in the past, they were before I even knew that the shattered backboard was cool. So I probably sold them for $30.
We've
So
all
okay,
done that.
here we have a Nas Wrap Tee.
Okay, Nas wrap tea. Mm, that's a good one. I'm gonna say 700.
Okay. Um, here we have, yeah, 700. I mean, that's fair. I sold. Actually, it's coming up. I won't say that, but I feel like that one might. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know about it, whatnot. Sonic Youth long sleeve.
Sonic Youth long sleeve. I mean, I haven't really seen that one, so I'm going to say $800.
Okay,
That's
fair,
my
fair
guess on that
estimate.
one. Yeah.
Okay, this one I actually sold on a whatnot, and the back is actually sick too because the back's like even more like rap T vibe. The Mike Tyson.
Yes, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, I would say $700-800.
Yeah, they're spot on. I think it went for like just over seven, if I remember correctly.
I feel like,
Okay,
Instagram could be different. You know what I mean? It could be more.
yeah,
Sometimes like Instagram is has a little bit more respect for pieces. So,
like if you were to be on a live on Instagram versus a live on
yes.
whatnot. Really? Okay, good to know. Okay, we got a Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton, I'm gonna say $75.
Okay, Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street.
350.
Okay, I like your pricing. This is like the Big Eagle Harley that goes out on the sleeves.
I'm gonna say 200.
Do you have this one?
I don't. I have sold it, but I don't have it as a personal.
Okay, well, there you have. Oh, actually, I have two more still. Okay, let's just pick one of these. That's Ghost
Like,
Rider, right? I don't
oh yeah,
even
the
know. Is that
Mega.
Ghost Rider?
Yeah, Ghost Rider Mega. Um, I've sold that one on Instagram. How much did I sell that one for? I think under a grand. It went pretty low. But yeah, I'm gonna say the
Okay.
Mega. It'll probably go $700.
So
I'm gonna
what's
be
the,
nice,
what's
seven
the
hundred
highest
bucks.
mega you've sold?
Um, was on, I think was on Vintage Madness. No, was it? No, no, I don't know. God, I've sold a few.
Nice. Okay,
The
last one.
Hulk. Okay. Mm, what is that one? I can't really see it.
It's Bob
What is
Marley,
that?
Mosquito Head.
Bob Marley Mosquito Head. If that's the one oh yeah, yeah. 600 bucks.
All right. All right. Um, I couldn't tell you how close that was because I couldn't. I don't even know, but it sounded really good to me. So, listeners out there, you let us know. Um, let's kick it back now. Give us the history. How did you end up in this crazy world of selling vintage T-shirts, going live, and all that?
Okay. So started my girlfriend in LA. My friend owned a store and selling women's clothes and like a boutique, and my other friend went to Rose Bowl, did that whole thing, and she would do Harley and band drops on my other friend's website and at her store. And so I would see the Harley stuff and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I love the fashion of it. I love the flames. I love the color. Um, like I'm pretty simple when it is like during the day, pretty simple. Like no makeup, hair up, I'm chilling, sunglasses. I like to have a fire t-shirt on, my leggings, maybe my Yeezys, maybe. Um, so and especially when I was pregnant, I just always wanted a fire t-shirt. But I don't know, something just drew me to the Harley graphics. So she started coming over. She would let me know when she had
Who is your
stuff.
friend? Can we give her a shout out?
Yes. Oh my gosh. My friend. Oh my God. What is my friend's freaking name? Let me think for a second. Um,
Okay.
I need to text Brad because, oh my gosh, she's gonna kill me. My friend that used to sell Harley to me.
Is she still doing it?
Yeah, she's definitely doing it. And she's amazing. So she would just come to my house and bring the stuff because I spent money. I would pick out what she want and then she would just do her drop from there. And she would come over, and I'd say this, and this. I wouldn't even try them on. I kind of like got the gist of a size, and I really liked Harley Flames, 100%. So I was like, the flames. The flames is my thing. And my brother, my oldest brother, who's like 55-ish, he rode Harleys all his life. So he's like the tough biker guy. And people would be like, "Do you ride?" And I'm like, "No, I definitely don't ride. I don't ride, but I'm obsessed with the fashion. And so she just would come over, sell me the tees. I started getting into the band tees, not really knowing like what kind of band tees I had and stuff. I just liked the tees. And then I got pregnant. So then I started getting bigger sizes from her. And long story short, a couple years, couple kids, start losing weight, and I'm like, I want to, like I'm like donating all my clothes, and I'm like, I don't want to donate this stuff. Like I don't want to donate it. Like I feel like I could do what my friend does. I need, like I'm obsessed with my tea. So I started like buying like smaller sizes from her, started talking to her about it. Um, she was super supportive, and I started an Instagram, and like I told you, I started a Poshmark. So I'm like, I'm just going to resell, the bigger size ones, the ones I don't want. I wanted to learn how to sew and like redo stuff. Like I told you, like the ones with the bleach or the ones that were messed up.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't touch ones. Orly, her name is Orly. Um, what is her Instagram? Her Instagram, I just haven't seen her in forever, and my mom brain is horrible. Her Instagram is, oh my God, she's the best. Denim by Orly, is that what it is? Yeah, Denim by Orly.
Okay. Denim by Orly. Shout out Denim by Orly.
Shout out Denim by Orly. Boom shakalaka. Orly, Orlee. She's in LA and
Interesting
she's a
name. I knew
Florida.
an Orly in high school. but I haven't heard that name in many, many years. Cool name.
She's a beautiful person. Such a beautiful person. Um, I love her so much. I miss her. So we moved to
So you're
Orange
selling
County
on
about,
Posh. You're
yeah.
selling on Poshmark. You're selling on Instagram. Do you remember like the first couple teas you sold?
They were, they were just Harleys. I didn't know what to price them at. I know I had a Suey and the Banshees tee, and I posted it on Poshmark for like $50, and it went in like 2 seconds. And I had like so many people like messaging me or asking me about the shirt. Do you have another shirt like that? And I was like, oh shit, like I have no idea like what kind of band tees I'm dealing with, like I have no clue. Um, but did that, and then I got started getting, I don't know how I got in touch with people just on Instagram. Maybe I think like hashtags and stuff like that. And there's a couple people, Omar, his new his factory finds. I forget his old Street Reheat. Omar, Street Reheat. He was one of my first friends on there. And that was
Cool.
one of the first lives that I went on with a buddy, Hayden of mine, which like I still know them today. And they're in the community, like they're everybody knows them. A lot of people know them. And I remember hitting the request button. They were just like chilling. And I was like, I have all this stuff. My buddy had a shop in LA, not in LA, in Thousand Oaks. So I would run up and get stuff from him. He would give me deals. And then that's how I started selling more stuff when I was in LA. And so I acquired like a couple racks of stuff and I jumped on this live and I'm like, hi, I'm new. I don't know. They were just chit chatting and I was like super proud of myself because I was super nervous. Like they were just chatting, they weren't selling, they were just showing stuff. And I'm like, look at some of these teas I have. And they were just like, hell yeah, like good for you. Like, what's up? Blah, 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 blah. And the rest literally is history. And my friend Omar, he's the one who got me onto Whatnot. And because that's when Whatnot was like starting to trend and people were starting to talk about it on lives. And be like, is Whatnot worth it? Is this, that, da 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 da? And I'm like, what's Whatnot? And my buddy was like, here, I'll get you on it. Let's, see if you like it. Like, I really like it. I'm making money on it. See if you like it. And so I tried it. I was literally sitting on the floor in my bedroom just with stacks of teas, selling stuff. He helped me with my first show, and a lot of my followers remember that first show.
Seriously?
Yeah. Oh yeah, a lot of people remember it. A
So
lot of
how many
people
people
remember it.
were on your first show? How many people were on your first show?
Maybe like 30. Maybe like 30.
Okay.
Yeah, because I
And
had Omar with
what?
me.
Oh, so you was like he was hosting you on the show.
I was, I think I was like on his show just in the comments, and then I started a show and I co-hosted him. And then, yeah, maybe like 20, 30 people, I feel like. And like
And were things selling?
things were selling. Yeah, I sold like maybe like 20 things. It was just cheap starts. And I was like, okay, I just sold 20 things in like an hour. Like, this is dope. Like, I don't know if like I sold it for great prices, but this is how you like move a lot of stuff. And I always had a lot of stuff. I like
Yeah, I
buying
think I
stuff.
think that's like a topic that a lot of people want to hear about because
Hmm.
to get started, Whatnot is essentially like a social media platform in the fact that you have to build it. You can't just show up the first day and expect to get thousands of dollars for t-shirts or even I don't know, you just can't get a lot of money for things and you got to build this
No,
and you got to kind of like sacrifice, throw some like Hail Marys out there, right? So
100%.
um, you know, and I always think about this too because I'm like, there's a lot of people selling on there, and like I guess so many of the people selling on there are bins kids, right? And when you're a bins kid, you can afford to sell a shirt for $5 because you got it
Yeah,
for $1 or 50 cents. But like most of
right.
us, that's not the case, right?
Yes.
So it's tricky, and I guess like talk about that first show, and then like how quickly it built for you, and like what was the progression?
So I feel like I started getting better stuff, and like it didn't start with dollar shows. Like I was not a dollar show girl. Like I was like, how can I start things at a dollar? Like I don't understand how people start stuff at a dollar. Um, and have these big shows, like I just need to like study it, and that's what like me and my husband did. We watched a lot, we supported a lot. Like that's how I became friends with all the people on there, like Rally and Soul Pound and just all my buddies on there. Just like watching and learning, honestly, just being in the lives, and started getting better stuff. And I would do store, like I would have stores. Like I would just load a store and then put a start on it, what I was comfortable at letting it go at. Or I would do a little dollar start show and do some giveaways and get followers from that. And, you know, obviously came down in the garage and have this huge space where I have all my stuff and I can set it all up and do bigger shows. Like we've done some crazy stuff in here with crazy shows, and um but yeah, it didn't happen overnight, it took a minute. It's really hard because for new sellers, they get on there, they get so discouraged, and it is frustrating, but it's like you just got to be patient and you got to put the work in. And if you don't feel pressured to sell something for a dollar, or don't feel pressured to do that, because I was like, no way, like I'm not starting stuff at a dollar when I have 15 people in here. You know what I mean? Like, meow. If I
Yeah.
could, I would, but I can't. Like at that point, I was just buying stuff from people over the internet, whatnot, Instagram. I wasn't buying mass amounts of t-shirts. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I think that's important. Important. You gotta figure out what works for you. Some people are selling bundles. Some people are selling straight out of the bins, like what they picked that day. Some people
hmm
are
hmm
curating like amazing collections. So you
yes.
got to kind of like find your lane, I guess. Um, and then there's some people who only will swear by dollar auctions, swear by sudden death, which is like no kick
hmm
up in the time. People have all their like
Yep.
this is the way methods,
Oh
and
yeah. Oh yeah. I have so
um,
many buddies that are $1 sudden death. Only way. Only way.
yeah, and that's kind of crazy.
Mhm.
But
Yep.
it worked for some people, right? So I'm in the process of building on there. So everybody who's listening needs to go follow my account and definitely follow B, Brittany.
Go follow. Yes. Go follow Drew.
Um, because we're going to be doing like I think what we're going to do is something different. We're going to do run it from this. I have three like physical locations, and we're going to do a
Okay.
show in each location once a week. So there'll be like 3 shows a week. It's like after hours. We'll like do some give. I don't know exactly the format yet, but we're going to
hmm
be in the stores so we can like show a
hmm
bunch of stuff and then do some $1 starts, but then also just like be like, who wants to see some shit, and show what we got
100%. Yeah. That's
and kind of
like
figure it out.
usually a lot of people do their stuff in their stores, and
Yeah.
just do, yeah, either start, or I'm starting this, I'll start this for 25, I'll start this for 60. This is a buy it now at 400, like,
Yeah.
and have
I guess I never
successful
see that
shows.
because I'm always on at night. I'm always on like when I'm like, okay, I finally have nothing to do with my time. It's like 11 o'clock at night, and I jump on
I
and see. I swear, I always just see bin kids. I'm like, is this another bin kid like selling shit for a buck, trying to like sell me a Mickey fleece or something? Um, yeah,
know.
it's good.
I'll have to send you a couple of my friends that I know that have stores and that go on. Like Stan, he's in oh God, where is he in? I think he's in Illinois. I don't know, but he goes live from his store all the time. There's a couple of people like
Sweet,
Clubhouse. I think they go live from their store. Like I'll send you some
cool.
people. But I know because
So
we're parents, so and run businesses, so our time is 11 p.m. That's my time too.
yeah, totally. So you said that your husband supports you, which I think is awesome.
hmm
You want to share the secret of a healthy relationship with us?
I mean, it doesn't mean that I don't want to kill him sometimes. Like that is a healthy relationship to me. It's not
Totally.
like,
It's the balance,
butterflies.
peaks and valleys.
Yeah. Butterflies and rainbows 24/7. It's yeah. I love you. And
Okay.
then it's like, stay the fuck away from me for a second. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you
Good.
for
I'm
giving
glad.
me respect my space. Respect my space. And he does. And he does. He really does. He's a really good guy. I'm very wild, open, um, chatty, friendly. And he's very, once you get to know him, once he opens up, he's super funny and he's just more chill, more shy. Um, so we're definitely a good balance for each other. He likes my craziness.
It's great.
It works.
Um, yeah, I love it. Well, Rally Roots said that he did say both of you guys were great, generous people. So shout out
I
Rally
love
Roots
them
for
so much.
yeah,
Yes. They're
yeah.
so great.
They are, and they're very smart. They're good business people. They
So
seem.
smart.
I've had him on the show. We've talked a bunch, and they just seem like very giving in the community,
Yes.
and like they're well versed in a lot of things. They're very smart. So I don't know. I have nothing but good things to say about those guys.
Yes. They blow me away. I go to Ryan for a lot of stuff, just a lot of advice all the time. And he's been there for me literally since like day one. And then we've had, how many times have we met them in person? I feel like it was just once. We were in Houston, but we were there for a couple days with them. And we had a blast with them. And I was with Allie, and I love her. She's even more amazing in person, literally. She is
Nice.
stunning, funny, smart. She's hilarious. So, love them.
All right. Quick word from our sponsor. F as in Frank Vintage, my company. Yes, my company sponsors the podcast because none of you guys are out there sending me checks, are you? But if you want to, you can. If you want to sponsor the podcast, you're welcome to. Hit me up on IG, Drew Heifetz, and you can sponsor the podcast. But for now, it's sponsored by my company, F as in Frank Vintage. We now have 4 stores to serve you up vintage goods. We have our Main Street location in Vancouver at 2425 Main Street. We have our Gastown location at 302 Cordova Street, Vancouver. We have our Squamish warehouse outlet where we're serving up good discounts because it's a warehouse outlet, which is at 39279 Queensway in Squamish. And we now also have our Whistler location, which is in Sundial Place in Whistler Village. We also have the website FAsInFrankVintage.com, where listeners of the show can get 30% off with code VTG and stuff. Matt, make sure you put that on the screen. Go cop some drip. And if you're in the Sea to Sky or the Vancouver area, make sure you come and stop into one of our stores, and more stores opening soon. So I wanted. What does your husband do? Can you tell us on here?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He owns a seafood distribution company.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And you kind of said it before, we didn't really dive into it. You guys are in Huntington, right? Or Orange County?
Yeah, we're in Mission Viejo.
Okay. Great area. I'm there all the time. Well, I used to be when I go to California all the time, and I'd come down and go surfing. Um, I don't come down as
We
much
were in
anymore, but
LA like 2 years ago,
where about?
and LA was rough. I mean, I was all over for like 13 years, and then me and him were in Simi Valley. He had a house in Simi Valley. I moved in there with him. We went to Calabasas, and then me and him moved to the Valley to like save money. And it wasn't like that bad of an area. It wasn't that great. Um, but we wanted to just save money so we could buy a house. And then we had a kid, and then we had another kid, and then the houses were going up, and then they're going up even more. And we're like, and then the area was just getting even worse, even fucking worse. And so we finally got out of there. Thank God. I
Because
mean,
this
it
is
was
like
bad.
you're talking through COVID when the homeless scenario went crazy in LA, and like
Oh my gosh. Yes.
it went off. It went
It was
crazy.
nuts.
Yeah.
Yes. We were like straight in the valley. I'm like, dude, are people gonna start breaking into the businesses around my house? Like, because they were just like running around crazy, breaking into businesses. And oh my God. It was, yeah. And I was like a new mom and pregnant again because my kids are 15 months apart. So
Yeah.
fucking LA was
That's tight.
wild. Yeah.
So something I wanted to kind of touch on was the as a new mom, as a woman in a in a relationship where like say the male is making the money, you're dealing with having kids, very very
Hmm.
important. I think kudos and so much credit to you and all the moms out there, including my wife.
Yeah.
um,
Shout out,
so
wifey.
shout out wifey. There's this. I'm speaking from my experience, and then you can tell me your experience. So,
Okay.
and my experience is just my experience of my wife, but she, there's mothers. It's a crazy accomplishment. It's such a valuable thing that moms do. It's like the most important thing in the world, nurturing children, bringing people into the world, and then like just the act of doing that is the support system that say the other partner, whether it be a man or another same sex or whatever, has to go and
Right.
be providing for the finances, right? Um, but then in the case of my relationship, like it left like so much um like longing for some other accomplishment that she didn't get to have while she was like raising the kids, right? And
Right.
now she's sort of there. She's like, I want to do my thing now. I want to fucking go do my thing. And it's like,
Yes.
I'm like, great, fucking hell yeah, go do your thing, like whatever that needs to
Yes.
be, right? So
Yes.
so yeah, like what was your experience with that? And is this vintage business that you're running now sort of like your chance at that, or is that a thought for you, or is that not a thought
Yeah,
for you?
that's
Or
100% my experience too. I was like, I had Blaze, and then, 15 months later, I had Boston. We have two girls, and it was really rough. Like, it was really, really rough, like being a stay-at-home mom, like kind of losing my mind. I didn't have any help. Um, we didn't have like a lot of family help, like at all. And I was just like, I need help. Like, we need to hire help. Like, I can't do this by myself. Like, I'm literally losing my mind. So finally, we did get help, and um, because I was literally losing my mind. Like, I had two babies, and I'm just like, what do I do here? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Down,
yeah,
Zippy, down. Um, and it was rough for me, like being a sober woman and just having, just issues, just having issues, and just, being a new mom of two babies. It was a lot, and him being at work and stuff, and it was just rough. So we finally did get help, and she was like a blessing in disguise and worth it. because we had no help. Like we just had no help. And then um I finally, got to be able to do something that I was super passionate about. Because right before I had the kids, I was in rescue, animal rescue, mainly dogs. So that's like my other number one
Oh wow,
passion. Yeah, so I did a
that's
lot
amazing.
with that. And it was just hard with the kids to go to shelters and do all that kind of stuff that I was doing before. And then I found my little niche with the Harley stuff and then the Banties and this whole new world, and I just got sucked in and I got super obsessed with it. And yeah, it's totally my outlet. It's just my little thing. And they'll be like, "Mom, like, why do you have to work? Why do you have to do this?" I'm like, "Because you can do anything you want to do. I want to show you you can do anything you want to do. Mommy loves what she does, and try and just like, I don't know, be the best I can be for them, you know, and be mentally the best I can be for myself, for everybody around me, my children, because it's just being a
Yeah,
stay-at-home mom was just not, they go to school. They go to school now, but it's
yeah. No,
it's rough.
I can totally relate from the other side of that, and um, like I said before, I feel like so much like respect, kudos, like admiration for what moms do, and it's
Wow.
awesome. And I wish that like well, from my experience, like my wife would view what she's done as more of an accomplishment in that regard. And not to say that I think that she shouldn't go strive for more accomplishments, but like I feel like there was a lack of like giving herself the credit for what she did do. You know what I mean?
Of course. Yes.
With the
100%.
family, and I feel like that's probably a recurring thing for a lot of women where they don't look at it the same, and then they see like these outside accomplishments and then feel it's just I don't know. So
Yeah. 100%. It's like
yeah,
mom guilt and then yeah, seeing outside accomplishments and being like, "Oh, I'm missing out," or I can't do that or I can't do this or yeah, and the
yeah,
mom guilt and just all that kind of setting in and just trying to
yeah,
find a little bit of a balance.
totally. And I
Yeah.
feel like too like the then having something outside of the home like your business, it's also really good for mental health because you have like a separation. You get to then focus on something else, and you kind of like have your own thing. You have your time when you're like, I get to go do my thing. That where like you
Hmm.
might be supported in that, but also you don't have to like do it together all the
No,
time.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So
100%.
you told me too that you went to fashion school,
I did. I went to FITM in Los Angeles.
which is a
Boy,
big renowned fashion school. I know it.
it really is. Yes.
Yeah.
I do I feel like I use any of it? I don't think so.
Okay,
People
that
are
was
like,
my
I think
question.
you do. I think you do. I'm like, I don't think I do one bit, but because I took all
So
these like crazy classes. So I don't know.
what so yeah, that was kind of my question. Like, I guess one question was, do you use it? Of course, I from what I've understood about fashion school, they don't really dive a whole. There's like fashion history, but it's all about like couture and like French design and shit. And it's like half the time
Right.
you're like, I feel like everyone I've spoke to who's done that was like, you don't use that really, you know. But the other question is, like you're saying you took all these crazy classes, like you just get to pick what you want to take in a fashion school and kind of like pick your lane of what you learn.
Yeah, I don't remember what the heck mine was called, but like mine was in the line with being a stylist. Um, Visual communications. That's what it was called. Visual communications, like so it was all like visual stuff. So I wanted to be like a
Yeah.
stylist. I wanted to be a stylist. And then yeah, I took all these kind of crazy classes and I'm like, just when the fuck am I gonna use this stuff? Like when am I gonna use this? I was like 21 years old. I was not sober, and I think I finished sober. Um, thank God. Thank God. But like, my dad was one to be like, you have to be in school, you got to go to school. And I'm just, I feel like I'm not a believer of that really. Like, I feel like maybe take some time and figure out what you really want to do
Yeah.
instead of just go to school, go to college, and go do all this. Or, like, yeah, maybe go to a community school and do your, you know, um, your 2 years or whatever. But me and Brad both, like, Brad didn't, I think he's like short a couple credits. Like, he didn't graduate college, but Brad's like the book smart one. I am not book smart at all. I have to study my ass off to get a B. I'm more visual 100%. So it was rough. Yeah, it was like, it was just, school's not for
Can I
me.
ask you what your star sign is? It's a random question.
Aries.
Aries. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool. Um,
definitely an Aries.
so, so, uh, yeah, just because you said the visual thing, like, um, it's true. Some people are very visual. Some people are, um, like, we'll have like these photographic memories of like when you read it once, you know it forever. And like, um, I'm like an analytical person. I'm like a very analytical person. When someone like talks to me about some idea or concept, I like start to like break it down. I'm Virgo, and that's like a very Virgo trait. So
I
I think
love
there's
that.
truth to the
I
star
admire that.
signs to a
Yes,
degree.
I love that.
We're getting sort of close to like the 45-minute mark where this gets like axed into the Patreon. So you guys all got to go jump on the Patreon now. But before we before we end the free version, I want you to talk about the Madness event. This Instagram, was it March Madness they call it?
Yeah,
And I
vintage
don't really know anything
madness.
about it. You had a
Yeah.
crazy showing. Take us
Whew.
through this whole what it is, how you
Mhm.
prepped for it, and the whole process.
Okay, so it's a B&B. Um, three guys, Ben, Nick, and Bob. They're like the little production team that I'm actually a part of now. I wasn't then. Um, I've known them. I've known a few of them, but I got asked, or they put, it's a 64 bracket, like a March Madness basketball thing.
Yeah,
And,
cool.
you go against people and then it dwindles down and then it's one versus one. So I got asked, there was a first one and I watched the first one. Me and Brad watched the first one like off and on and we were like, this is dope. Like, it's dope to watch. It really is. Um, but I got asked to be in the second one and I was like, let's fucking go. Okay, I'll do it. Let's do it. Like, kind of freaks me out, but let's fucking do it. So I
And
said
obviously,
yes.
this is all IG, right? This is an
Yes.
IG live, and you're
Yeah.
talking there. So they 64 brackets, meaning they pick 64
hmm
sellers or collectors. Do you have to be a seller, or
hmm
could it be just a collector?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you can be just like a collector too. I mean, but
Okay.
just, you have to sell tea. So it's like a one-on-one battle. A one-on-one battle. You both show teas, whoever you're against. Three, two, one, show a tea. And the chat bids it up. Sometimes you know what they're going for, sometimes you don't know what they're going for. And then they pick, so like the ending bid, whatever, 1.5. And they'll be like, I'm going with the Akira, I think like mine went for maybe like 2 grand, the green Akira, or 1.9. I don't remember. But literally, I just remember like hiding behind the tees because I was so freaked out. I was so nervous. Like, I had banging ass tees. Like, I brought some heat, but I was just mortified and freaked and nervous. Um, because I'd never been in anything like that. I was like, I think it was me and Jones, maybe Marilyn, but like, no, not a lot of females. So it was scary. So what I did for this tournament literally was Ben from B&B, shout out B&B. He has all, the old lives saved on his page. So I went back and watched the whole first March Madness, Vintage Madness. I watched the whole thing. Literally sat at my counter and just fucking watched and studied. And I was like, holy shit, like these guys are pulling rap tees out like the first round, and there's, I think, like 6 rounds it is. Yeah, 6 rounds. And then I'm like, shit, like they're going for low. Some are going for $300, but then again, like this movie promo tee, which like I didn't know too much about movie promos back then. Like I told you, I didn't know much about Marvel back then. Um, so it was kind of like, yeah, freaking me out. I think in the sense of just like I was still new and I was just like, I don't know, I was just fucking nervous. So first round, I don't remember who I went up against. It's all a blur, but I know the second round I was going up against Jared, who had won the first one. He won it with Marvel. He had like megas, all kinds of stuff. Good friend of mine now. Um, but I knew that like I had to have some crazy fucking Marvel piece to beat this guy second round to go on. I'm like, of course I'm up against the winner, like second round. Like, what the fuck? So I, I get some stuff and I'm like, I need something that is going to blow this Marvel guy out of the water. Like, I don't know if he's going to whip out something on me that's going to be huge or if he's going to go like lower because he knows I don't really have Marvel. We don't really know each other. He probably doesn't think I'm that big of a threat. So I was just like, I need like a mega. I need a mega. And I forget what fucking mega it was. So bad. My mom brain so bad. But it's so bad. Um, but he had just, I don't know what tea he had, but we both showed and I was mortified and I had the mega. He didn't have a mega and I beat him and I was like, game fucking on, game fucking on. Like I beat the winner of last year. Like Jared curates like insanity stuff, like insane. He's amazing. But I was like, okay, like I can
What's
do
his
this.
Instagram? What's Jared's Instagram?
Jared's Instagram is, everyone loves Jared. Just Jared. Just and then Jared is Jared.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he has crazy Marvel stuff. And so like me and him over time have really become close buddies. But I've met him in person and stuff and but yeah, it was just like that sense of I can do it, I can do it. So then third round, I got nervous. And I pulled out my green Acura, and everyone's kind of like, who is this girl? Like, who is this girl? How does she have these teas? Like, holy shit. And I'm like, no, I've been here, but like I sell mostly on Whatnot, like I didn't just appear. Like, yes, I post on Instagram, but I'm not on Instagram Live, so to speak, 24/7. I might pop on once in a while, but I was really focusing on Whatnot. So I feel like, nobody knew like what I had. I wasn't a huge like I would post on my story, I would post some stuff, but I wasn't like posting all my grails and showing all my grails 24/7. I try to like showcase a lot of that more now and stuff. But that's just not how it was because I was on Whatnot so much. And last round, last round, I go against Percy, and Percy's, like one of the top dogs on Instagram. Love him to death. We are obsessed with him. He's the best. He has all the heat. He was pulling out a lot of rap tees, and I pulled out my Junior Mafia, and that was like one of the hardest rap tees to get. So I forget what purse he pulled out, but again, mortified, just hiding behind the tee. I was just like, oh my God, I don't know. If I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. Like, I want this to be over with. I want this to be over with. Like there's no shots for us. You know what I mean? There's no like no little Percocet and a fucking shot to calm our nerves. Like no, I'm like, holy shit, like I was freaked out. Now, like in competitions, I'm like, it's nothing but a thing. But um so I'm freaking out. I'm holding up this Junior Mafia, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. Like everybody, Percy's so loved and he has so much heat, and I don't know. I'm just going with it. I'm just going with it, and um, ended up winning. And then, so many people were happy. A lot of my friends from Whatnot were on there, Instagram, and then, I see like a couple people, even people that like I knew, like saying, like, oh wait, like, the one who bought the shirt, like they know each other, and um she's selling his shirts, and like just weird shit, like I'm selling shirts for someone else. Not like they're not my shirts, and I'm like, what the fuck, like, anyways, um, you're always gonna have some kind of like backlash, so I was just like, whatever. We were pumped and, just nerve-wracking at the same time. And then I had to, show a little bit of proof that like, because you do on those kinds of like competitions, you have to show like some verification because there is a lot of like funny business going on. Like there is a lot of people bidding and then people sending back money. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can't control. But I
So,
had
is there a prize for this event?
$1,000. Woohoo.
Yeah, like you're selling $2,000 t-shirts, and then the prize is a
Exactly.
thousand bucks. So,
Yeah.
okay, so so the proof is that they're saying, what's the proof? They want proof that the transactions were real.
That the transactions were real. And then I took that, in a really just pissed off way. I'm like putting my kids down. I was super pumped. Like all my friends are calling me and we're just like, we're super excited. And, you know, I video chatted with everybody and they were like, hey, are you selling or are you selling? I don't know. It was for, I think first it was something like super weird, and they just asked me and I was like, no. And they're like, okay, no worries. Like, just wanted to clear it up. And I was like, yeah, no worries. So, and then, somebody asked me for the proof and they wanted the transactions. And I was just kind of like, how dare you, like gross, just because I felt like it just wasn't, that was like, so that was one of like the first competitions. Now I feel like it's so normal to ask for the transactions because of all the crazy shit that goes on. Like it's of course like show the transaction, whatever, like it's nothing but a thing. But I feel like that was like super new to ask for like proof. Um and I just felt like it was like a little humiliating, to show like how much money I like spend on teas, and I just took it a little personal and which, whatever, I shouldn't have. And I was just upset. And um,
So they want the proof that you bought the shirt from somebody, or they want the proof that
yeah,
somebody bought it from you. Okay.
yeah, that I had purchased teas, that I had made purchases um, for buying the t-shirts. And Yeah. So I had to show like Zelle receipts and stuff like that. And um yeah, I was like pissed off for a minute about it, but um in all honesty, like that's like reality of competitions, especially because now, I mean, like now people can just send you the money, or even if you show like the proof that somebody paid you or whatever,
Yeah.
you can show that. A lot of people ask for that, but it's like you can just send it right back, you know?
Yeah, so I mean, it seems pretty weird to me. So I guess, yeah, people can you can fake a buy, and so like you could have your
Hmm.
friend bid in the comments, send you
Hmm.
some cash, you send it back. It's no sweat off anybody's back.
Right.
And then I guess the other side of that would be like you were selling somebody else's shirts, and you're in cahoots with like a team that's like trying to win this thing or something.
Right. And then I would tell like some of my friends, and some of my friends that are like very high up and that have been on this podcast, and they're like, who gives a fuck if you were selling teas for somebody else? Like that makes, who cares if you were selling teas for someone else and they weren't yours? Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah,
And
like you
I'm
still
like,
had the tea essentially, because
right.
so yeah, and like selling a tea for anybody at any other point wouldn't really matter. You'd be like, whatever. Like
They were
people do that
all
all the
my
time.
t-shirts.
It's very
They were
normal.
all my t-shirts. Yeah, like they were all,
That's
sadly,
crazy.
they
So
were
there's
all
like,
my t-shirts. I didn't really make any fucking money, you know, like I live in California. Yes, like $1,000, like it's, you know, it can be a lot of money for sure, but I'm just like, yeah, I'm not getting like, I don't know. I spent a lot of money on these fucking teas, you know, like I'm pulling out Megas, Akira's, fucking rap teas that you can't, you know, you can't get. And
yeah. So do you think like some of those teas you would have paid just as much, if not more, for what you ended up selling them for? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, oh, 100,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally. Especially if you're
yeah,
like going out in California, like in Hollywood, to go to a store to go buy some shirts. Like it's like that's like the top of the top. But I mean,
yes.
all these shirts are so rare anyway. It's like hard to find. You got to have crazy connections. So just to clear this up for the listeners here, like
Hmm.
head to head, the chat bids. You don't know who they're going to ask for to buy the tea. Whoever they ask for to buy the tea, it's an automatic sale for that value, and then you win. You move on to the next round. Is that
Right.
how all these contests work typically?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that's all the one-on-one battles. And then you have like the level ups, where the level ups, you'll say, okay, like here's my $100 shirt, but at 150, I'm gonna level up with these, you know, I'm gonna add in this shirt. So I've been in those battles too. And then you can go up to like $1,000 bundle, you know. I've gone up to I think like a $1,500 bundle, me and my buddy Brian on exchange. I think we were doing, we were just acting crazy, you know, and just like giving away teas. I was just giving away teas at that point. And that's when I was like, okay, this is a break for me to do the contest thing. I think I just need a break. But Vintage Madness is coming up this year, and I'm with B&B now, and you know, they do a lot. They do a lot of stuff on Whatnot now, and they host a lot of hosting, a lot of selling. I mean, um, Ben, Nick, Bob, Shirley, Chris from Unfaded. There's just like a couple of them, a couple of us all over the place. Like Chris is on Exchange a lot. And great, great, great group of guys. Like hard, so hardworking. You know, it's just like so,
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
hardworking. I'm just like, I just, you know, I just want, I don't know, just want them to hit the jackpot. They're just really good people that just work really, really hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we still got lots more to talk about, but we're at the hour mark. I want you to do. We're bringing back the challenges on the podcast. We're bringing back challenges for the listeners. So Brittany, you have one. What do you got?
My challenge.
Yes. your challenge?
My organizing challenge?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
my
think it's
organizing
awesome. I
challenge.
think it's awesome. I think
Okay.
we have a bunch of slobs listening to this podcast that keep their teas in big shitty death piles. So
I get it. It's hard. It's really hard. And especially when you get new inventory. I don't know. I get it. I feel everybody's pain. But time to clean up and clean up your side of the street, guys. You need to maybe take a picture of your before and then get your space, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be like your own room. It doesn't have to be, just wherever you have your inventory or whatever. Clean it up, get it organized, get a rack or get your rack together, um, fold your teas, get them organized, make it look all nice, and so that you know and that your head's clear. It just makes everything so much better when everything's organized. It's more clear. And like post like an after picture.
yeah, hell yeah.
I love it.
Tag B for vintage. Tag me, Drew Heifetz. Go get your shit organized. It'll change
Yes.
your life because this is not just like it's a real. That there was like a whole Marie Kondo fucking movement there for a
Yes.
while. Get your shit
Yes.
organized because it like a clear space
Mm-hmm.
is a clear mind, as a cluttered
It's a clear
space is a
mind.
cluttered mind.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Tech and Sports. He's been on the show and he has this concept called reset to zero, where you have a clean space. It starts with a clean space, but then every day when you do your work, like you're shooting for your listings or you're doing your whatnot live or something, you make sure you clean it back to good. So the next day when you come in, you get to come into a good clean space. Like it's so much
I
more
love
inviting
that.
to start work into like a nice fresh space.
100%. And it's so good
Um,
for your mind. I mean,
yeah.
literally so good for your mental health. It really is.
Hell
Mine's a
yeah.
mess right now. I just had a kids live, but I gotta get my stuff back together too. But I love
Nice.
organizing my stuff. Love it. I can do it all day long.
Yeah, there
So,
is something about it.
challenge.
There's like this therapeutic getting your collection organized, getting your inventory organized. It feels good. So that's the challenge. Get
Yes,
organized. Tag us in your pics and watch it change your
please.
life.
Yes.
So we have lots more to talk about. I really want to dive into your pre-vintage life and becoming sober. I've had my own journey with that, so I want to get
Hmm.
into that with you now. I want to get into the whole crazy 15-hour live, deeper play-by-play. I want to talk about like some of your sourcing methods. I want to talk about just wherever this conversation takes us. So we're now into the
Sounds
Patreon
good.
portion, guys. Jump on the Patreon, but we're
Jump
continuing
on.
on. All right, everybody. As you heard me talking about with B, this is the end of the free version of the show, but we continue our conversation for over an hour more, talking about sobriety. But really, we dive heavily into our whatnot conversations, where she drops all the tips and tricks of selling on whatnot. She tells how she did over $100,000 on her whatnot live. She also talks about how she sources all her heat, how she gets all her stock. So if you want to learn all that stuff, you definitely want to jump on the Patreon. It's only $5 a month, but guess what? That's not all. You get a free 7-day trial, absolutely free. So you actually don't have to pay anything to go listen to the rest of this episode, plus the over 120 other episodes that we have recorded with some of the greatest minds in the vintage community. Also, if you don't want to get on the Patreon, you can sub right here on the YouTube. Click join down below, and you can watch it right here on YouTube. The full no ad episode. By the way, guys, on the Patreon, there are no ads, completely ad free, 2-hour plus episodes, 125 episodes for your brain to learn from. That's it. Thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate you as always. Make sure you go follow my account on the Whatnot because we're starting it up heavy. Drew Heifetz on Whatnot. Check that out. Bookmark all the shows. Get her done. Bookmark all the shows on the Whatnot. And we'll see you on a live where you can talk to me personally. Peace out.